Hello, this presentation will address the American political landscape. In other words, you will be exploring the various differences between people, groups, and regions of the United States. You will also examine how people develop their beliefs about the function of government and the political characteristics of particular groups and regions of the United States. The United States remains one of the most diverse countries in the world. Just think about the students who attend Westfield and the numerous regions they come from around the world. The diversity of the U.S. makes it difficult to assess the public opinion of its residents. What is public opinion? Public opinion is the distribution of the population's beliefs about politics and policy issues. To further complicate the understanding of political opinion, people are often uninformed about issues. Think about our current political environment. How many potential voters today know what TPP is? If you don't know, take a minute to look up Trans-Pacific Partnership. How many voters do you think will take the time to learn about the TPP? Yet, this is a central issue in the upcoming presidential election. Not being informed correlates to lack of participation by voters. The least informed are the least likely to participate and vote. Don't forget, voter participation is essential to a democracy. The United States is a nation of immigrants. Over the course of our history, we have had immigrants from Europe, Asia, Africa, and Latin America. One way of looking at the American public is through demography, which is the science of population changes. The most valuable tool in understanding the demographic changes is through the U.S. Census. As a constitutional requirement, the government must conduct an actual enumeration of the population every 10 years. So every 10 years, the government sends census takers out to every nook and cranny of the United States, and they count every man, woman, child, and pet. I'm joking, they don't count pets. However, they do count everyone, every citizen, both legal and illegal. It is important for groups to be counted, because once a group establishes its numbers, they can ask for federal aid in proportion to their population size. The question of whether or not we are a melting pot or salad bowl is one that doesn't have a definite answer. If we are a melting pot, all cultures have combined to make a single dish like melted chocolate for fondue. If we are a salad, the different cultures combine in one dish with each contributing separately and distinguishably. Like in a salad, the lettuce is clearly defined from the tomatoes, yet they come together to make a tasty salad. Especially if you put bacon on it. Oh, that's really good. Everything tastes better with bacon. Be prepared to share if you think we are a melting pot or a salad bowl the next time you come to class. Also, think about whether or not there is an overall set of political values Americans share despite our diverse backgrounds. You might have heard the term minority majority. It means that as a society, there is an emerging non-white majority. Until recently, the largest minority group in the country has been African Americans. It wasn't until the 2000 census that for the first time, the Hispanic population outnumbered African Americans. As you can tell by the data from the 2010 census, Hispanics outnumber all minority groups. If you look here, they are at 50,477,504. Whereas you look at the next largest minority group, African Americans, they're at 37,685,848. So you can see that there is this growing group of Hispanics in the United States. When you return to class, be prepared to answer the question, what are the political implications of the changing demographics of America? Geography helps to explain our diversity and ideological differences too. The country can be divided into geographical regions. You have South, New England, Midwest, the West, and the Sun Belt. Of all the regions, the South is least liberal. At one time, the South was part of the Solid South. It was part of the Democratic coalition because Southerners were liberal on economic issues. However, the rise of racial and social issues during the Civil Rights Movement ended Southern attachment to the Democratic Party. Now you can probably consider them more solidly Republican as a region of the country. The Midwest is somewhat liberal, while the New England and Western states are the most liberal. Next, you have the Sun Belt states, which includes the southern part of the United States from South Carolina to Southern California. The Sun Belt, with the exception of Southern California, tends to lean conservative. If you examine the three electoral college maps from the presidential elections of 2000, 2008, and 2012, you will find many of the trends I stated are true, but you will also find that there are exceptions. Be prepared to explain the differences between what I said and the data presented in the maps. Not only are there geographical differences that can account for ideology, but also regional differences. There are clearly differences between people who live in urban cities and those who live in suburbs. 80% of Americans live in cities with metropolitan areas. However, people have been moving from cities to the suburbs. People leave the cities for better housing, cleaner air, safer streets, and white flight. If you're not familiar with white flight, we can talk about that in class tomorrow. As a result of migration, cities are now poorer, increasingly minority, and democratic. In addition, more than half of all whites live in suburbs, and 1/3 of African Americans live in suburbs, with more than half living in cities. According to the U.S. Department of Agriculture, minorities only make up 21% of all rural America. Again, we will discuss the political implications when you return to class of these regional differences. Also, when you return to class, we will finish the rest of the American political landscape lecture. See you soon.